Okay. All the oranges, I'd like you guys to come over here. All the pinks, put you guys right over here. All of the greens, I'm gonna put you guys over here. All of the yellows, we're gonna put you guys over here. And then all the blues, you guys get over here. Okay, orange? Yeah, take your. Yeah. Yeah. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Okay, blues, got some blues over here. Where are the blues? Who has the blues today? Okay, everybody's in their spots, right? Okay, and what are you guys are going to take on that orange piece of paper? Write down everybody that's in your group. Okay. So all the pinks, you guys, one of you guys write down everybody that's in your group. All the greens, exactly the same thing. Write down everybody that's in your group on that paper. Okay, you guys need to switch. You're green. Just one. Oh, do we only have 2 yellows? Oh, screw them somehow. What we're gonna do is. And blue, you're a blue, right? You're over here. Is that a blue? That's a blue. Turquoise. I'm sorry. My bad. Yeah. Okay. So we got 2 yellows. What we're gonna do with yellows? We're gonna put you guys with the blues. Just breathe. It's okay. I mean, so. Okay, so what I'd like you guys to do is, I'd like you guys to go around, introduce yourselves, go through that list, tell each other about each other, right? You guys can do that? Okay, good. And then I need one person to write down everybody that's in your group. Okay? Anything over here?
I'll start.
Okay.
My name is Jack. I am studying and majoring in kinesiology. 5 years, I see myself traveling.
So,
I'm going to be a forensic
you're not
detective when I grow up. I'm living in the Philippines right now because I'm playing baseball, and I'm from Melbourne, Australia. Yeah.
Okay.
So.
So,
Australia.
each other, know each other. Breathe.
Playing baseball.
Talk to each other, get to know each other, talk to each other, get to know each other.
Hey, spell it. What's your name? Sarah? Sarah Lee? Sarah. Sonia and I'm Brooke.
So my name is Sonia. I'm majoring in health science, and I hope in 5 years I will go somewhere in the nursing field. And I would like to be a registered nurse in the future. And I don't think I just actually. And I don't know.
I'm Brooke and my major is in nursing. I want in 5 years hopefully be like a charge nurse in an ER or like a trauma center or like in a trauma center inside the prison because I like working in prisons. And when I grow up, I want to be a trauma nurse, travel, get more tattoos, and have a family. And I don't commute, I just moved here. And I was born in Alaska and I worked in like 5 places. A lot of work.
My name's Google. My major is computer engineering. In 5 years, I'll probably try and finish my major because and like I used to commute like for like several months until I just started living in dorms because the schedule for the bus was very limiting. And oh yeah, my ribs are bent in.
Why?
Because when I was born, the doctor just squeezed.
Ow.
And it kind of just slipped out.
Oh, that's cool.
It is. It doesn't really affect anything.
Some people get their ribs taken out. So
Well, alright.
So I'm Tara. In 5 years, I'm seeing myself working probably with the house, and then oh, do I commute? I live here, born and raised, from Fresno, and then some unique fashion company. I don't really have one. Besides, I was prematurely 5 months, and that's it. Oh, I don't put my name on it. I'm letting you do my work. Okay.
My name is Flora. My major is 5 years and see myself doing financial freedom. When I grow up, I wanted to contribute to society. And right now, I haven't. I
Does that hurt?
it feels like
No, she's trying to give you everybody's name. They need one paper with everyone's name.
I'm Jackie. My major is health science. Hopefully in the future I can be a nurse, and I really also want to get my real estate license. Yeah, I don't commute. I moved here from Coalinga.
How different is it from Australia?
It's a lot warmer right here than it is over there right now. It's winter over there right now.
It's a cake.
So at Christmas is in the summer.
Is it ever been as hot as it does here?
Maybe 1 or 2 days in the summer, but
Because you live like near the coast, right? Because actually, I mean, most of Australian towns are on the coast, right?
yeah, I look like a 30-minute drive from the beach.
People ask you if you have a pet kangaroo.
Yes.
I used to get asked if I had a polar bear or an angler or something.
That's on the Alaska beach.
Yeah. Heard the scorpion. In Australia, they have huge ass like bugs. Like every time I always see like videos of them, okay, I'm not gonna need to go to Australia.
No, they-
Well, it's like
We just have lots of poisonous ones.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, nice of them.
Yeah.
You guys burgers, but we call so you guys call them chicken sandwiches, we call them chicken burgers. So it's just like, if it's a bun.
That's what it is, right? It's a burger.
It's a bun, chicken bun, it's a chicken burger, not chicken sandwich.
That reminds me, right? I used to call, what is it, cheese toast? Cheese sandwich? Yes.
Kids that you know, they're.
No, that's different.
People ask you your English all the time. Yeah.
Oh, my mom's English, so yeah, they pick up on this stuff.
Is there anything else you're supposed to do?
I said just talk about yourself. No, I was born there. I like lived there on and off. I worked in by prison.
Oh, okay.
In total, I lived there like 6 years.
Oh, you were like.
Like cilantro, like $4. Unless you're a hunter, you kind of
Really?
unless you have good money, yeah. Because everyone hunts out there.
Is it really like really?
Yeah, like below zero. Yeah,
You get paid to live there? You get paid to live there?
You do?
Like every year you get a dividend. It's like in October. So like me and my biological dad lives there. So until I was 18, you had to pay child support. So we would get that check every year.
And isn't like Alaska massive? Like,
But the only city we're living in is Anchorage, unless you like being on the coast. Well, Anchorage is technically. But there's cities that don't even have anyone there, that if they don't leave, they have to, like they have to have all their food and stuff ready for 6 months because they'll get snowed in. So it's like certain point or so Alaska is not worth living in.
Australia, the middle, why is it nothing?
No, it's awesome.
But it's like, there's artificial rivers, why don't they do that?
Okay.
Where?
Isn't like,
Desert.
isn't Australia,
Underground city.
but it's like also, isn't Australia like a big mining export?
Yeah, down south a bit, but yeah, no, just middle is just nothing. You get lost out there, you know.
It's desert? Like no one lives.
I mean, why would
Nothing.
right? Imperial system.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no way.
Neither do we. It's like the imperial system and the metric system. There's also, that's
Drive on
the,
the other side too.
yeah.
You know that?
What?
We drive on the other side.
Oh, I know.
Wait, on the right side.
Left side, we drive on the right side.
You drive on the right side?
Yeah.
Wait.
So like we're on the
No,
right side of the
you
road.
drive, yeah.
Oh,
Steering
okay, I
wheel's
was
on
like,
the
what?
Oh, I thought you meant to the road.
I was like,
Maybe I'll
you know how some are like on the
Yeah, our steering wheel's on the right, and we drive on the left.
Yeah, like that.
yeah, I was like,
And then we park the car in the car park. Parking lot.
wait, what do you guys call it?
Car park.
Carport?
It's not a parking lot, it's a car park. And fill it up with petrol, not gas.
Gas?
No, it's gas.
Yeah.
Yes,
It's called petrol.
Why?
because it's a type of gas.
It's different,
Because gas
that's what you
isn't
guys call it.
gas.
Yeah,
It's
what
about the gas?
stupid. Gas is a liquid. Black water gas.
Is it weird if you like, have you driven here? No? Oh. Is it because it's different?
Yeah, I've used it. I drive back. I go back there every couple of months, so I just drive over there.
Wait, how did you get convinced to come to Coalinga?
Well, I had dorms. I wanted to play baseball every year. And I didn't want to play North Dakota. So here I live. Oh, and also I wanted in pretty dodgy towns down north. And my mom was like,
But I feel like, well, doesn't like everyone in Coalinga just say like Coalinga is terrible?
Yeah, what?
Has nothing to do with people don't leave.
Well, that's true. That's true.
Well, here in Clinton too, but.
Well, at least you guys have like, I don't know, malls, stores.
We have stores, but not. Small. But you're getting stores, just food, not clothing.
I mean, that's still way better than here.
I lived in Susanville for the past 2 years, so we had to drive like over an hour just to get to Reno, just to do anything fun. It's kind of the same situation, except less time.
Well, I mean, it's like, it's a given, at least for here, because this is like literally the middle of nowhere in a way, right? This is like, this is the
3
country.
hours.
Isn't this like the countryside?
Some boonies right here, boy. Yeah, it takes like 2 hours to get to the beach.
And that
You drive fast.
It's my son's today. It's my son.
Oh, you've been there already?
I remember my sister told me before I went to college here, they advertised the students like 10 years ago like, to live in a dorm by saying, the beach is close by.
That's what my boyfriend told me. My boyfriend's from Avenel, so he tells me about, oh yeah, they celebrate a bunch of people to come here.
And it's 2 hours away.
At least it's cheap, so they can afford to go if they want
Well,
to.
there's still the gas.
That's right now, back then. It was
Oh, yeah.
Where are you from?
I'm from Huron, which is like a couple miles away.
It's like 20 minutes away.
On the bus, yeah. No. On the car, yeah. On the bus, it's like 45 minutes to an hour. Yeah, I use the bus to get here.
How often?
How often? Well, I mean, if I wanted to go to class, that was every day for like 5 days.
Yeah.
I mean, there's technically a car waiting for me. I still need to learn my permit because I have not started driving.
You do the written test? The written test is online, like the answers.
I can just
No, you just write the answers and then go take the test. That's what I did. What's it called, the little lobby.
I wasn't really a good student 5 years ago, so high school, yeah. Because like they give you a whole year to learn this, and get your permit, and then I didn't do that.
I thought someone was 16 to drive, so you're fine.
Okay, so this is how it's gonna work. First, I'll start by introducing myself, and then I'll have the SI introduce herself. Angelia, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll start by having you introduce yourself. So do you want to go ahead and give them your information?
Yeah, well, I'll send out an email once I'm added, but my name's Angelia. I'm gonna be your SI. I'll send you guys an email out for all my hours. I will be hosting SI sessions just for you guys on Wednesdays from 5 to 7, right before your guys' class. And I was gonna think of doing one on Fridays too, but I'm not too sure yet.
Okay, now you have the other information about you. So tell them about your major, answer the question like they have to do.
Why?
Oh,
Okay. My major is gonna be chemistry when I go to Fresno State, well, biochemistry. And I graduated from West Hills last semester. I graduated with my AST in mathematics. I plan to like do some sort of, I want to do research with chemistry in the future.
Okay.
And no, I don't commute. I live in Coalinga.
Something unique about yourself.
I don't know. I write down to-do tasks and still forget to do them. Like I make like little lists.
Okay. So I'm Dr. Henry. I'm going to be your instructor for chemistry. So when I got my degree at UC Santa Barbara. I got a BS in chemical engineering, and then I went and got a PhD in genetics. Let's see, where do I see myself in 5 years? In 5 years, I'd like to see this lab running so smoothly and this be a vibrant STEM campus where we have a lot of science going on. That's my goal. What would I like to do when I grow up? Well, I do consulting on the side. I haven't done a lot recently because I've been really busy trying to get this lab up and running the way it should be running. So that takes a lot of time. So I would like to kind of get that up and running again, probably get my own business started on the side, in addition to teaching it, classes and things. I do commute. I commute from Hanford. Something unique about me. Let's see. I'm gonna say I will probably be the most interesting instructor that you've ever had for chemistry. So, and you guys can tell me if that's the case or not once you finish the class, right? Okay, so this is the way it's gonna work. This lady is gonna actually introduce her name. and give me her major and one other thing about it. And then you're gonna her name. Okay. If you go ahead and start. Valerie? Okay, wait, can you hear what she just said? No. So you've got to talk loud enough so the person farthest away can hear you. Okay?
So she's Valerie, her major is health science and she's about
Jose, his major is health science, and he likes to work on cars.
Jose, what is your last name?
Okay. Hi guys, this is Michael. His major is health science and he comes from the States. Health science.
You guys hear what he said?
Yeah, something about.
She has two dimples and one chin.
It was a one cheek. Okay.
I'm supposed to remember everything about the trip.
Actually, Michael's already been introduced. Okay?
Oh, it's just her.
Yes.
What if it was the other way?
Estelle.
Sorry, I'm really bad with names.
Okay, so her name is Estelle. Her major is health science. And she didn't say anything that was like unique.
You're not unique.
She's unique, but
You're not, your name is unique. It's your name. So now you have to unique. By the end of the semester, we will have something unique. Okay,
She works for the school.
that's it.
Her name is Alyssa.
So do
Her major is in health science and she comes from
I plant science. It's older and work, and then he lives in here.
Where do you want to travel to now?
Travel?
Yeah. Where?
Different parts of
Anywhere? Anywhere?
Yeah.
Okay, so what is your last name?
Gonzalez.
Gonzalez. Yes. Yes.
Edwin. His major is kinesiology. And talking is that he actually went coach.
Okay.
This is my boy Jacob. His major is kinesiology and he plays baseball.
Okay. You introduce.
This is Janet. She's taking classes here for general ed.
Janet, you need to introduce.
Adelaide, and her major is in health. And then I like to see bears on my house.
Oh, there's in your house. Okay. Yes. Okay.
Lana. She's in health science in her 5 years. She wants to be working in her dream job, which is to be an ultrasound tech or an RN. We're in between. I'm excited. She's from Alabama. She's a buckaroo. Something unique about her is that she can touch her toes.
I didn't know that.
She just added that on there.
Yeah, you can do a little spice.
Okay, this is James, his major is health science, and something unique about him is he plays football.
This is Ricky. His major is plant science, AST. Something unique about him is on
This is Calissa. Her major is health and science, and something unique is she plays volleyball.
So that's Rihanna, she's a kinesiology major, and something really about her is that she has talking about the birthday cake. Oh, and she made her parents sing happy birthday to her cat.
Oh, really?
Oh my God, they were so mad at me. She turned 1, but technically I actually got her birthday wrong, that it's not on the 8th, it's actually on the 22nd. But we don't know that. for sure.
Okay.
This is Janet. Janet's major is health science, and she recently moved to Coalinga.
Is it Janet or Janet?
It's Jen.
Janet.
This is Jack, and he's from his health science, his major. This is Jack. His major is kinesiology, and he's originally from Australia.
Okay, this is Brooke. She's majoring in health science. She grew up in Anchorage and has worked in 5 prisons.
5 prisons. Wow. Okay.
I don't remember their names. Let's see. Sarah, she's a nursing major.
You're supposed to your neighbor.
Oh, neighbor?
Yeah.
Oh, no. Sonia is a nursing major. She wants to be a nurse. And oh, she loves to paint. She's a Monet or Van Gogh or whatever.
Okay, and you said Sarah?
That's Sarah.
No, that's your Sarah. I'm sorry.
I'm
You are-
Sonia.
Sonia.
Yes.
Sonia. Okay, Sonia.
And this is Gabriel. His major is computer engineering. And when he grows up, he would like to be a software developer.
This is Sarah. She majors in health science. I have forgotten everything else. What else was there? She was born and raised in Coalinga.
Okay. That's your unique thing?
No, it's just my community.
Okay.
I don't have any unique, but
You're not unique?
I am, but like I don't know a fact about it. So
Okay.
Your calendar's cool, you see that about your calendar.
Okay.
yeah, but
So these are the people that are going to be in your group. You guys have a group project that you guys have to do by the end of the semester. During this time from here to the end of the semester, you guys need to meet 3 times to discuss what you guys are going to be doing for your group project. So let me tell you about your group project. Love the group project. So you guys have a parody. You guys know what a parody is? Anybody not know what a parody is?
like date movie,
What was that?
like date movie,
Like scary movie?
weird
Like,
movie,
yeah, kind of like that. Only thing you're doing a parody, a musical parody, right? So you're gonna get a music genre dealing with a topic, some topic in chemistry, right? So I have a couple of major topics. Since there's only 4 groups, there's gonna be 4 different topics. What you guys are gonna do is you're gonna write a short little video, 2 to 3 minutes in length, right? It's going to be in the genre of that music. So like say if it was funk, you'd have to find a funk song and then do something like, let's say Lewis dot structure to it. Okay, so you'd write the lyrics to that. Okay, now you're going to record this video because I get to save the video and I use the video for another class that I do. I'm working with. Okay, so you're also going to give a presentation. You have a 20-minute presentation. So you have 20 minutes to teach that topic to the class as a group. That means that everybody in your group needs to participate in that presentation. Okay, the last thing is a page. So you're going to get a Canvas page that you're going to work on that has all of the information, because if you teach anything, have you guys ever taught anything to somebody? You've never taught anybody anything, like tie their shoe or brush their teeth or put on their underwear, right? Anybody, teach them anything, you taught them anything, you taught somebody something, right?
Yeah.
I know you guys have taught somebody something, right? Can you teach somebody something in 20 minutes?
Yes.
Really? You can?
Yeah.
I agree, you can, right? But you want to provide them with enough information that they can go and look at it in addition to that, right?
Like a TikTok?
Like a TikTok? I would love to have a little TikTok, that would be fine, yeah. But your page should have that information, right? So they can read about it. Because, you know, there are a couple of ways that we learn, right? Do you guys know how you guys learn? How do you learn? You learn by writing everything down. You're a visual learner. Who's a doer? Anybody learn by doing? You're a doer, right? Anybody learn by just reading?
Oh, hell no.
Okay, so a few of you guys are. Okay, so we each have a different way of learning. Some of us, we use a lot of different things. And so the idea is that you guys get the parody to kind of get them hooked, right? The parody gets them hooked on the time, right? You guys then give a presentation that tells them what they need to know, and then they can read about it. Okay, you guys understand that? Okay, so this is your group for your group project. And so you want to get comfortable with your group because you guys are going to be working throughout the semester. And as I said, you're going to have 3 meetings that you have to tell me about. You have 4 to 3 meetings, right? But you have to have at least 3 meetings, and everybody has to show at those meetings. If they don't show, right, then they get deducted points for that. Okay, taking that from Mr. Grant. Anybody have Mr. Grant for communications? Yes, should definitely take Mr. Grant for communications. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, it's really important that you guys learn to communicate. Group projects, group activities are the way that things are going. How many of you guys study by yourselves? You're solo studiers. Do you do it well?
Yes.
Yes? You do it well?
Somewhat.
Somewhat. So I was a student who liked to study by themselves, but at the same time, I knew that I would get part of an assignment, but the other part I wouldn't understand, right? And I knew that about myself because, you know, I have an attention span of a peak. So I pay attention to one part, I got that part. The other part, I'm like, I don't know what to talk about, you're just talking, right? So I found that if I go and work in a group after I study by myself, then all the stuff that I missed, I picked up from somebody else. And usually it's a little more clear because it's your colleague that's telling you it, rather than some guy that's talking in the middle of the classroom, blah, 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 right? So I strongly recommend that you start establishing study groups, right? Get in the habit. You guys are going to always have a lot of assignments in this class. You have a lot of workload that's associated with this class, right? You guys should be working at minimum, if you want to pass this class, at minimum 6 hours outside of the class. That's not including the 6 hours inside of the class. Okay, now it's doable. You can get it done a lot sooner if you guys do the things you're supposed to do. Get the chapters, you know, look over your notes, do your homework, right? It'll be a piece of cake, you know? But if you don't do what you're supposed to do, that's usually when you don't do well in class, right? Okay, so we'll talk about that here in a second. Yeah, 50 million things. Wait. So I hear we have a lot of kinesiology majors and a lot of, so when you guys talk about kinesiology, are you planning to use it for athletic training, physical therapy, PE? You're gonna be a PE teacher?
Yeah, I'll make the kids run.
Okay, well, you know, if that floats your boat, you know,
Yeah, I got a lot of hate.
okay. So all of the hate that I gave you, you're gonna convey to your students, is that what you're
Yeah,
saying?
no. You know where I work. I get kids coming there all the time. Can I get water? And I had to like throw out these kids because they were physically fighting each other. Like, why are you fighting? And they're like besties. And it's just like they bully Connor too much. That's all I gotta say. They bully Connor. Literally. He needs to be a better friend. Watch him all.
Okay, so we're gonna go over the syllabus. Today, primarily go over the syllabus. We're gonna talk a little bit about lab and what's expected to teach in lab. And then I'm gonna give you the keys to success for this class. Okay, so hopefully you guys are here for 2A, right? And I didn't hear anybody that said they wanted to be a doctor or anything like that, because if that's what you want to do, then you want to be taking 1A, right? It's too much work. What was that? This is 2A. Yeah, this is 2A. This is not 1A. Okay, so the book that you guys are going to be getting, I don't care what edition that you guys get, and also on on Wednesday, Mesa will be in here, and I know that he has 11 books available, right? And so you may want to go to Mesa and sign up for Mesa so you can get your free book. And I believe almost every program, Trio, EOPS, DSPS, I think they all have copies of my book that you guys are using for this class. This is the cover. This is what it looks like, right? I saw a copy for $24 or something like that. It was used, but it was for $24. So I don't care which edition you guys get, as long as you guys have a version of it, right? Because the edition doesn't matter, because in most cases it's just minor changes that have been made, except for that very, very first edition. You know, that one was like back in the Stone Ages. It was made with tablets of stone and stuff like that. So
Yeah, the canvas.
it is. You should be able to see it. It's not running as effectively as it should, but don't worry about it. It will be by the end of the week. So as I said, I'm Dr. Henry. I hate emails because on the average, I get over 250 emails a day. That's a rough average. Why? Because I have my hands in everything. I probably shouldn't have my hands in, but we won't discuss that. The best way of contacting me is by text message. I will respond better to a text message than I will respond to an email, because I have to read through all of the emails. If you text me, don't expect instant gratification. Give me a little bit of time, but I will get back to you. I promise you. By the end of the day, you will definitely have a message from me. Now, if it's an emergency, like you're in jail or something like that, you may have to wait, but I'll come and see you. I'll make sure you have your test materials and everything that you need to successfully complete the course. Now, the only thing that I do ask is that if you're texting me around, after 10 o'clock or so, don't do it, because my girlfriend gets a little bit suspicious when I get text messages at 3 o'clock and 4 o'clock in the morning. And she thinks that it's a booty call instead of something else, right? So I always have to say, no, it's a student, right? So please, take that into consideration. Have a little courtesy for my personal life. I do have one. It's hard to believe, but I do. I have office hours right before this class, Monday and Wednesday. And then I also have office hours in Fireball or via Zoom. So there'll be a Zoom link that says my office hours, so you can get in contact with me via Zoom. All of your lectures are going to be recorded. We're still in the midst of COVID. You guys are supposed to scan in, which I totally forgot about today. But supposed to scan in as soon as you get here, and then show me that you're okay and everything like that, and then we're good to go. But if you're not okay, if you do happen to get COVID, that doesn't mean that you don't have to come to class. You still should come, not physically to class, but you should attend via Zoom, because there will be a Zoom link available for the class during class time for you guys to attend. And plus, there will be a report that said you are so sick that you can't get out of bed, can't move, anything like that. You can watch it later on and you're feeling a little bit better. Okay, it usually takes about 2 or 3 days to get them up, but they will be up for you guys. Okay. Let's see. Well, today is the official start of class. Glad you guys all made it. So I won't go over the course description. You guys can read yourselves. It kind of gives you an idea of what the class is about. I will talk a little bit about student outcomes. Student outcomes are basically a little bit of either a lab or an exam or something that shows me that you understand that aspect of that student outcome. And we want to make sure that you guys have some base knowledge before you leave here. And the student outcomes gives us an idea of some of that base knowledge that you should have. Before we say, oh yeah, you're a great student, you really understand chemistry, have it under your belt. And so you will have lab activities as well as little exams or quizzes that will kind of test that knowledge of that outcome. Believe it or not, by the time you finish this course, you would have gone over all of the different objectives. And there are quite a few. Hard to believe, 25 different objectives, and we'll definitely be going over all of it. Now, you guys are expected to subscribe to a program called Active Chemistry or Active Learning. There will be a link in under Chemist. We'll go over that on Wednesday. What is that? Okay, Wednesday. Make sure you guys, if you guys have laptops, bring your laptops and also bring your cell phones. I know you guys always bring your cell phones, but you have to bring your laptops on Wednesday. Okay, because there'll be a couple of things that we'll be going over about the course. I also recommend that you guys get a 3-ring binder that is about 2 to 3 inches thick, something a little bit bigger than this, right? Because if you guys have noticed, today I've given you what, 3 pieces of paper, right? And the one, let's see, this one here. This one here, you can use on all of your exams except your final. So this is the packet that you can use on all your exams except your final. Okay, so you want to make sure that you keep this, guys, you keep it pristine because you get to use it on all your exams except your final. Okay. Because the final is an ACS final. So it is there's an organization called the American Chemical Society, and they dictate all of the education in chemistry. And so to get money from them, we have to sit there and administer their exam to kind of get an idea of how you guys compare to other schools. And so that final is an ACS final. So it's a proctored final. And so they have their own periodic table. So that's the only thing that you'll really need, because they talk mainly about big concepts. So if you have an understanding of the material by the end, you should have no problem. If you don't have an understanding, then you may struggle with it.
We do get periodic table.
Yes, you do get periodic table. You're not expected to memorize the periodic table. I think that's a big waste of time. So, and we'll talk about that too. Okay, so you'll also need an ID card because 2 of your exams will be done online under your own time. One of your exams is going to be a take-home exam. I always like to give you guys a take-home exam that you guys can work as a group to complete. Typically, that take-home exam is very, 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 very difficult. And the concept is to try to get you guys to go to your tutors, to work in groups, to try to solve the problems, right? Now, there have been some people that are able to do it by themselves, not too many. Usually it takes a village, right? And so I'm trying to get you guys in that habit. Now, I know that a lot of you guys think that scientists are in silos, right? They act in silos. That's not the case anymore. Scientists are always working with other scientists all the time. And so that's what I'm trying to foster, a sense of reality in this class by giving you an opportunity to sit there and do at least one exam altogether. So take advantage of that opportunity. So on Wednesday, Mesa will be coming in. You guys will be getting lab coats with Mesa symbol. And these are going to be your lab coats that are going to check out to you and only you. So you'll have a hanger that goes with it. You're going to put your name on the hanger, and that's going to be your lab coat for the semester. You also will get goggles that you're going to be using throughout the semester as well. Okay. We want to try to prevent foods from being passed on. Right.
What about the video?
What was that?
The video.
You guys didn't finish it, and we didn't go over it. So, yeah. So
it was bad either way.
It didn't make it. Okay. So now, when you guys are fixing your cars, or fixing plumbing issues, or doing your hair, or doing your nails, or doing your girlfriend's hair, or doing your girlfriend's nails, what do you guys use? You use safety equipment, okay. So let's say it's something that you've never done before. Where do you go first to figure out how to do it?
YouTube.
Where? YouTube. So guess where you guys can go when you don't know how to do chemistry? YouTube. So I have my favorite YouTube characters or YouTube personalities or whatever you want to call So one of them is called Melissa Maribel. Melissa Maribel, to me, is very hot. And so I often will watch Melissa Maribel. My girlfriend gets a little mad at me and said, are you watching it because she's hot? Or is it because you don't know chemistry, right? I know chemistry, so I guess I know why I'm watching it, right? So it works for me because she talks at a level that I understand, right? And it makes it easy to understand and also easy to convey to somebody else. And it usually is about 2 to 3 minutes. And so I kind of get a topic that I didn't know in 2 to 3 minutes. So there's also Tyler DeWitt. Well, Tyler DeWitt, he appeases another sense of my pleasures. So then in his case, I watch him to sit there and get some stuff at a different level. And so I'll be able to get from 2 different perspectives. There are about 50 million different people that you can learn chemistry from, including myself, right? So take advantage of that opportunity, the fact that you guys do have it, and that you guys can use it, you know? Okay, so take advantage of it. So if there's something that you don't understand, go to YouTube, look it up, and maybe they can explain it a little bit better than that. It's Melissa Maribel. There's a link right there. On your, yes, and then it's actually on your Canvas shell as well. So there's also the P table. So if you guys have your phone, everybody have your phone? Go to your browser and type in ptable.com. P table is your best friend. It's not P on the table, it's just P, capital P, table. You guys got it? Did it come up?
Yeah.
Okay, so if you guys notice, your periodic table is actually from P table. So P table is a nice little periodic table that if you hover and click onto that, the element that you're looking at, it actually has a wiki page that's associated with it. It'll tell you everything from the color to the appearance to the density to its melting point, its critical point, its triple point, anything that you could possibly know about that element, it'll be included there. So I always like to have P table handy, either via my laptop or my cell phone. So. And we'll go here quite a bit, so kind of get used to it. Okay, and the last thing is I have my own YouTube page. So any lectures that you miss or that you want to get ahead on, or any topic that you may want to think about, you can go and take a look at what we've talked about last year, the year before, and the year before that too. So there's quite a few lectures there. So if I'm not going fast enough for you, go ahead. Go ahead. All the way back. Okay, so lab safety. We'll talk more about lab safety on Wednesday since that is going to be your lab day, but some general stuff about lab safety. This is the shower, right? So let's say you happen to spill chemicals on yourself, on your eyes and all those things, right? So you want your lab partners to take you over to the shower, and then you guys want to pull the shower, right? This is the eye wash. You happen to get something in your eyes. You want to come over here, put your head down into the sink, push it, it'll flow into your eyes, okay? And you want it to let it run quite a bit to make sure that you're getting everything flushed out. And then we're going to take it to the hospital to make sure that you're okay, okay? Now, don't get happy and just want to pull the shower. I mean, because I know it's tempting. It's right here, and everybody, you know, want to sit there and pull that shower. Don't do that, because you do that, right, for no apparent good reason. It floods the floor. This whole place is a mess. This person here gets all the brown stuff on them and all that good stuff. Well, they should, but in theory, it will happen every once in a while. Kind of take a look here. What happens over time is that sediments settles in the pipes. And these pipes are pretty old, so they got a lot of sediment. And so often, every month, we have to sit there and flush them out to make sure that we get rid of the sediment so that we don't get anything that's going to react with the chemicals that we're using, because that would not be good. You know, all of a sudden you're burning, and now you're really burning because the pipes add a little bit extra, right? So you want to make sure that it's flushed. So if somebody comes over to help you, flush it, let it go a little bit, and then push it into the shower, okay? So the other thing, these are called fume hoods. You guys are familiar with fume hoods? Can you do me a favor? Let's see, Brooke. Can you do me a favor? There's a switch at the very top over here. Can you turn? Flip it at the top. Okay. So the fume hoods, our fume hoods are very, very, very loud. That's how you know that they're on. Now, the purpose of a fume hood is to keep all of the fumes inside of the hood. And so it's not coming out inside of the lab. Now, the purpose, again, is to keep the fumes in the hood so it's not affecting you as the individual. So you don't want to stick your head in the hood, right? And believe me, there's a tendency, you know, your first instinct is that you're working on something and you're like, well, I got to get closer, and you want to stick your head in. You don't want to do that, right? You want to try to avoid it. Okay? Because again, some of the chemicals that you're working with in the hood are poisons, right? And the gases that they're generating are poisons. And you don't want to take in those poisons. We had a couple of students that, you know, even after I told them not to stick their heads in the hood, they decided to stick their heads in the hood, and they passed out, fell out right here on the floor, right? We want to keep that from happening, okay? So we want to try to make sure that you guys stay safe. You know, you keep your hands, your toes, you know, your head, right? We want to make sure all those things come back with you at the end of the semester. And those brain cells too, right?
About the glass. There's a scratch.
Okay, yes. Bringing us all of the good stuff. So occasionally I've been trying to weed out a lot of the glassware. We have a lot of old glassware that has scratches and cracks and all those things. So anytime that you're getting ready to do an experiment that requires you to heat something or stir something vigorously or something to that extent, or it's going to get hot, you want to make sure that your glassware is perfect. There's no chips, there's no scratches, there's nothing, right? The reason why you want to do that is because often if there's a chip, scratch, it explodes. Exactly. We've had a lot of explosions these last couple of years. Actually, last semester I had the most explosions I've ever had. It's just like, now it's time to buy new glass. This is how you know, because everything was exploding, right? I'm like, God damn it, you know? So we want to try to prevent that from happening. And so that means that everybody around you need to make sure that they're wearing their goggles, their gloves, and their lab coat. You also want to make sure that you have closed-toed shoes, and you're not wearing those flats that are showing a little bit of skin because you can spill acids on yourself, right? So we want to make sure that we're dressed appropriately on Wednesdays. Always close those shoes. No Crocs, no slides, no stilettos. There's, you know, nothing like that. Okay. I know they look good, but you want to keep your feet settled. Participation / attendance. So you guys have labs, and to do those labs, you got to physically be here, right? So I need you to be here to sit there and do it. So that's going to count towards your participation, as well as interacting in the class. So if I ask a question, right, and you guys don't respond, are you participating? Okay, we got to work on that. So if I ask you a question and you guys don't respond, are you participating? No. No. Okay, that's good. So we know that participation means that you guys are responding in certain ways, right? How do you guys like this class so far? Kind of boring right now. I know it's first day, right? So
I got some
so much
goofballs. That's fun.
you said you got bubbles?
I said I got some goofballs in here. It's funny.
Oh, good. So we want to make sure that you guys are getting the most out of this class you get. So that means you should be here. Okay. Now, if you're sick, don't come. You can look at it via Zoom. Now, the thing about your lab, though, is that you won't have the opportunity to make it up. There's going to be one day to make up one lab at the end of the semester. One day to make up one lab. You can't make up 15 labs, right? It's really hard to do. One day to make up one lab. These are important dates. So everybody's already enrolled. Now, I put the drop dates on there, but I don't think any of you guys are going to use them, right? Because there's a tendency, I promise you this. Usually, the first exam is your worst exam, right? The first exam is typically your worst exam is because a lot of us are either very confident, very lazy, or combinations of all the above, right? We often will think, oh, it can't be that hard, he's exaggerating. Or, you know, I'm not gonna study, I'm not gonna do the practice test. Or I'm just not gonna do the practice test, period. I'll just click it and say I did it and call it a day and not do anything, right? Every exam, I usually give you a practice test to do first. Now, in most cases, some of the questions that are on the exam will also be on the practice test. So those are kind of like free points that you should get. So by doing the practice test, you're preparing for the exam. Now you want to make sure that you do the practice test. Do it a couple of times, right? To be sure that you got it, right? Make sure that you've done the homework, right? Anything that you don't understand, go hit up the tutor, right? Okay, now, and I'm telling you this right now, because that first exam hits and you get that very first score and you're not happy with it, you're gonna think about it, right? You're gonna sit there and say, well, what could I do better? At least I hope that's what you do. But I have a few people that their first instinct is, I got a D on that first exam, or I got an F on that first exam, I'm dropping that class, right? Don't drop the class, because you still have the opportunity of doing a little bit better. One of those opportunities that I give you guys is the opportunity to do what I call test corrections. Let's get down to test corrections. Or exam corrections. So the way it works is, let me give you a little history. So when I was in college, I went to UC Santa Barbara, and I was a pretty good student for the most part. You know, occasionally, you know, I fell off the tracks and everything. And one day before I had my exam, this class was really a weird class. We had midterm. We had two midterms, or two tests and a final, and that was it. Okay, that's the only thing that we had. We had no homework, nothing, right? That's all you had. And so I went out and I had studied and I studied and I studied, you know, and I'm like, okay. And my friend was like, hey, there's this party tonight, you know, this girl Lisa, like, oh, so fine, she's gonna be at the party, right? Lisa's gonna be at the party, okay, you gotta go. And I'm like, oh man, you know, I gotta study. He says, come on, you know, you've been wanting to talk to her and everything like that. So, you know, I call myself, okay, I'll go. Let me finish studying and then we'll go. Okay, so I study. And I was really confident. I'm like, I'm gonna kick this test ass, right? Feeling really good. So I went out, up, you know, drank a little bit, trying to get a little liquid courage, you know, build up enough confidence to go talk to Litsa. You know, it's like, you know, I go up to Litsa and like, hey, what's up? You know, and you know, I said, you know, I'm Ken, everything, so I know about you and everything like that. She says, oh, you're the Kimmy boy. All you do is chemistry, right? And I'm like, yeah, that's me. And so, you know, we dance and everything like that. And I'm drinking. You know, I've been drinking all night. Didn't eat enough. Been drinking all night. I'm still talking. And I get to the point where I'm like, you know, I'm gonna go in for something, right? No. Next thing I know, I'm not feeling so good, right? And I vomit all over, right? A great impression. And I'm like, whoop, there it goes, you know? And my friends end up holding me up. And, you know, I don't know about you guys, but when I vomit, I get weak in the knees. And I'm like, they're all trying to hold me up. And I'm like, you know, all over the place. And so I'm like all embarrassed, right? Still drunk, you know, and vomiting. So, you know, they take me back to my apartment and everything like that. And I'm sitting out in the toilet, and vomiting in the toilet and everything like that, really praying to the porcelain gods there. And so, doing this night and everything like that, I look at the time, I'm like, oh, you know, it's like 3:34. I couldn't really tell, something like that. I said, okay, class is at 8. I gotta make it to class. But I gotta sleep, but I'm still vomiting. Right? So I'll sleep for a little bit, set my alarm. So class is an hour for this exam. You know, an hour to class starts at 8. Guess what time I wake up? No, I woke up a little bit before 9. I woke up at 8:45. Class is all the way across campus. So I am booking, right? Still, I'm in boxers and a t-shirt running across campus, right? to sit there and take this exam. I am not lying, and my friends have pictures to prove it. So they will never let me live down, let me tell you. Went to the exam, talked to the professor, please, please, please. You have 5 minutes to do what you can do, right? So for that 5 minutes, I answered as much as I could on that exam. That was the worst test I ever got, ever did, right? I think I got 17 points at most, right? And I whipped that out of my butt so fast, but I knew the material, right? So 17 points. Now, the final was 50% of my grade. The other exam was 25% of my grade. This exam was 25% of my grade. So I already set myself up for a C at best, right? So I'm like, I am so fucked. Maybe a little bit. May get a B, but I have to get perfect on everything else. So I told myself, I said, if I ever teach a class, I will give students one chance, right? That one chance to fuck up, right? That's what this is, that one chance to fuck up. So you fucked up the exam, you get 50%, right? So if the exam is worth 100, how much do you have left over? How much did you miss? I missed 50, right? So if I miss 50 and I divide 50 by 2, what is 50 divided by 2?
25.
25. And I add that back to my original score.
75.
That's 75. Is that a passing grade?
Yes.
So I went from an F to a C, right? Which is passing. And it puts you better in line with everything else. So you have one opportunity, one test that you can use this for, right? And the way that you would do this is that you would do 3 things. You have to work hard for it, right? You have to work hard for those little bit of points. You have to tell me the reason why your answer is incorrect. And that doesn't mean why, well, I didn't know it, right? Well, obviously you didn't know it, right? If you knew it, you would have had the answer, right? So I want to know why you didn't know it. What was it that you didn't know? Kind of explain it, right? So then I want you to give me what the correct answer is, okay? And then the last thing is why that correct answer is correct. Well, a lot of times you can do this by doing calculations, right? If you do the calculation, it kind of explains it all, right? But I don't want to hear, I didn't know, or Maribel didn't tell me, or, I looked at Jessica's paper, Jessica got it wrong too. That doesn't help me, right? I want to know what it is that you didn't know about it. What did you? Good. You guys get that?
Yeah.
Okay. So
Dr. Henry.
you'll have to the end of the semester to sit there and turn in that one test corrections. And that's going to be added back to your score. The key of it, the thing of it is, how many of you guys, after you take a test, you guys go back and look at your test and see what you missed? Okay. Now this is going to be really important in chemistry because chemistry is cumulative. It basically means that we're adding on everything. It just keeps building on itself, building on itself, building on itself. So if you didn't understand something from the very beginning, that's going to keep biting you in the ass till the very end. And so the key is anything that you don't understand, you need to make sure that you understand by the end of the semester. Are we clear? Good. Okay. I'll get there. Too much.
Oh, Dr. Henry.
Yes.
I just want to let the students know, I also have an example from my test corrections that I did for general chemistry that I could also send out to them as an example.
That'll be good. Yep.
For those of you who actually want to do it.
And she says that because she's saying that out of love, because always people that typically do this are the people that already have A's, right? Usually the ones that have A's, they're already good. They're like, I'm good to go, right? But they want that A, right? And it's the ones that have the F's, we can't force them. I mean, we can't force you to do it. We can encourage you to do it, and we can tell you to do it, right? And they still, I'm like, man, what else do you want me to do? Do you want me to sit there and take the test for you?
And Dr. Henry offers a lot of extra credit.
I was getting to that, let me get there. You guys. Okay, so you guys, you're going to be expected to read, right? You're going to be expected to attend your lab sessions and interact in lab sessions. You're going to have homework assignments. You're not really going to have any discussion boards. We'll have heated conversations. In fact, we always have heated conversations. It's not heated, it's not fun. So the biggest thing that I want to say is that do your practice exam. Do your practice exam because that's going to help you out quite a bit. And your exams, they're not going to be made up. So if you miss an exam, you miss an exam, right? Especially if you did not talk to me about it. If you talk to me about it beforehand, I'm not going to be there. You know, I'm having heart surgery. I'm not going to be there. I just got arrested. I'm not going to be there because blah, whatever, right? If you let me know, we'll find a way to get that exam to you so you can take it, right? Or we'll find a way to find a time so that you can take it, okay? So make sure that you guys are communicating. I work with you as long as you're willing to work with me. That means by communicating. Now, I do not grade on a curve. If anybody tell you otherwise, they're lying. So 90 to 100 is going to be an 8, an 80 to 89 is going to be a B, a 70 to 79 is going to be a C, a 69 to 60 to 69 is going to be a D, and anything below that is going to be an F. Okay, now the thing is, I don't grade on a curve. That means so technically, right? Everybody in this classroom can get an A, right? Put the effort in, you earn that A, you get an A, right? It's not too hard. People have done it before, right? Now, everybody in this classroom technically can get an F, right? So, fortunately, it's been done before, you know? So the thing is that you want to make sure that you're staying on top of all the assignments. Now, the class is designed so that it brings the best grade out of whatever your best skills are. So some of us, I was in industry for a couple of years, and I found that you always had somebody who would be really book smart. Do you guys know what book smart is?
Yeah.
What is book smart?
It was intelligent in the subject you're knowledgeable in.
Okay. Sort of.
Or just smarter than
Kind of elaborate. Anybody want to elaborate? A book smart person is somebody who does really good on tests, right? They're just like bam, bam, bam. But then when you put them in real life situations and they actually have to do the real work, they can't do shit, right? That's somebody who's book smart, right?
They're easy to rob.
What was that?
They're easy to rob.
They're easy to rob. That's good to know, right?
You got explanation.
And then you also have people that are more hands-on, right? And then you have people that'll be a combination of both. That are hands-on and also book smart, right? And that's what you want. You want to have it all, right? You want to be the it, right? So now the way the class is designed, if you look at it, you have your homework is 15%. You have what we call career. Career is going to be a combination of reading an article, giving you some insight, giving me a resume, submitting that resume somewhere, right? And the other thing is your exams. That's that book smart part, right? And then you have stuff like participation. You have stuff like your lab reports. You have your group projects. So those are actually due, right? And some of us are so much better at doing than we are at taking exams. And you can still pass the class if you learn to, well, of course, you can do it if you can do both of them, right? But if you're really strong at, let's say, the hands-on component, you can still pass the class. Just make sure that you're doing what you're supposed to do. Participate, you know, and you're doing the lab work, okay? Now, I know that none of you guys want to just pass the class. You guys want to master the class. Is that right?
Sure.
Yeah.
No mediocre here, right? We all want to be at the top, okay? So make sure that you guys stay at the top, right? Don't procrastinate. Okay, so extra credit. So as everybody was telling you, I give a lot of extra credit. If you go to a baseball game, or if you go to a rodeo, or if you go to some type of event. Now, if you're playing that don't count. You have to go to another type of game, right? Sorry, you can't get, you can't get points for just playing. You gotta, okay. So if you're baseball and you go to a football game, you get extra credit for it, right? You'll get 2 points extra credit for attending some athletic event that we have on campus. We also have Dias de las Muertas, right? Day of the Dead, right? So we built a kick-ass table, right? Each of my classes will build a table. Now, hopefully they have the competition because we should have won last year because our table was kick-ass. There were flames of all different colors. It was kick-ass. And so you guys will be building a table. You guys will get extra credit points for that. We have speakers that will be coming from industry to talk to you about certain jobs, nursing, the oil industry, engineering. You attend those, you get extra credit points. So there will be a lot of opportunity for extra credit points. Now, you don't get extra credit points by asking Dr. Henry, I really need that point. Please give me an extra credit point, right? I'm going to tell you straight out. I said, you have the whole semester. You had all of these opportunities to get extra credit points, and you didn't do any of it. So why would I give you any extra credit points? If you've done them before, you had it. Right? So make
Yeah,
it
wait, can I say something?
Yes.
Like you guys should try to do as much extra credit as you can, because there's been times where like I got a B in the class, and if I did the extra credit, I could have gone A in the class.
Yeah.
So it could really help you bump up to the next grade.
Yeah, I think you were at 89.7, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
And she didn't do any extra credit for it. And I'm like, okay, well, remember what I told you, right? What's that?
How do you know if there's a game?
There's a schedule, and I'll actually have most of the schedules. Once I get them, I post everything up there. Any event that's happening is going to be posted up there. As you can see, some of the stuff from last year is still posted up there. Right, so if you want to know what's happening on campus, I will post it on that little board right up there.
You play well, do you get extra credit?
What was that?
If you play well?
If you play well,
Yeah, sure.
I can't give you extra credit for playing well. You should play well all the time, right?
You have your off days.
You have your off days. It's okay to have an off day, but you should be playing well all the time, right?
Are you teaching at your best all the time?
99.99% of the time I am. Right? There are occasions where I didn't get enough sleep, things like that happen, But I'm gonna try to give you my best. And if I'm not, I'm gonna make it up in a way. Right? Okay, so computer and network issues. I am not an IT guy. I will fuck up your computer. I guarantee it. Let me touch it. It won't be working. I had that problem with my own. Why do you think half the stuff isn't working right now? So, and it also doesn't help that I have every window open, if you guys can tell, everything open at once, I multitask like a bug, right? So, I'm not the guy to go to. You want to go to IT for help. I will try to give you guidance, lead you to the right place, but don't let me touch your computer because, like I said, it may not work afterwards. So you guys register for the course. It's your responsibility to withdraw from the course. Okay. Again, before you decide that you're going to drop the course, please come and talk to me, right? Because I will try to talk you out of it. Because I see a lot of things that you guys don't necessarily see. You guys are all up in that heated moment. You're like, oh, you're worked up about whatever, right? And I see that, okay, they're doing really well in terms of getting your labs done. You do well when you actually do the lab. You're actually participating. You just struggled on that one exam. You'll be okay. And I will tell you, you'll be okay. Listen to me. I have a lot of experience in this, right? Give me the benefit of the doubt. And again, I'm not here. I don't want to see you guys fail. I want to see you guys succeed, because you guys succeed means that I succeed. If you guys get degrees from here, you finish up with your degrees, that looks good on me, right? That helps my pay, right? And so my goal is to make sure that you guys get the best knowledge that you could possibly get, right? And then you guys take it to the next place, right? You go and you talk about how good this place was, and they send their kids, right? So then again, that helps me, right? So it's all about me in the end, Okay. So honesty, academic honesty. I hate cheaters. You will have. If you get caught cheating, and usually how people get caught cheating is through Google, because I put stuff on Google that I know is wrong, and people use stuff directly from Google that they have no idea that is right or wrong, but their tendency is just to put it on there because they saw it on Google, right? I put a lot of shit on Google. There's a lot of things that I put up there personally, right? Because I've caught a couple students cheating using Google, right? Turning exams. I had one that sat right over there, and I'm like, looking right at her, looking at her phone as she Googles something. And I'm like, God damn, bold, right? Oh, that drives me crazy. Okay. Now, I like to keep a really good reputation about this school and about my classes. Now, I say that you're going to learn something, right? Now, if you're Googling everything, you've not learned it, you've learned how to Google, right? That's not learning what you need to learn from this class. And so it's a slap in my face. And it's also a slap in your classmates' face by you cheat, right? So you get caught cheating, I'm going to give you a 0 for that assignment that you get caught cheating on. You do it again, I'm failing you in this class, right? So you better drop this class before I fail you, right? And that's it. So I don't play. When I was in college, there's this guy named Julio. Julio was actually one of my lab partners. Julio's notorious for copying all the fucking time. And I had this instructor or this TA. She didn't like me too much, because I'm a little different in ways, and I kind of speak my mind, and but I was pretty good at chemistry. I knew chemistry. Did very well in chemistry. I did my work. I always did my work. And one day, I get called into her office, and she's like, "You were cheating." And I'm like, "What do you mean by I was cheating?" Now, what happened was Julio normally gets everybody's lab report, copies, things on it, but he usually changes something. But it was, I guess, time crunch or whatever. He got a hold of my lab report and copied it straight, everything. Now, I was pissed, right? Because I knew exactly what had happened, because I had given my lab report to Patty because she needed to finish up parts of things. And I was saying, this is how you do it. And I had to go to class to make up some things. And she gave it to Julio. And then Julio gave it back to me. And I should have known when I got it from Julio, I should have said something. But anyway, get in there. And the instructor or the TA was like, "You were cheating. You're gonna get kicked out of this class." Da, da, da. I'm like, "I wasn't cheating." Right? I said, "I've never cheated." She says, "You don't know this stuff." And I'm like, "Excuse me?" I'm like, "I know this stuff." And then I kind of got smart with her. And I'm like, she says, "Well, we're going to go to the professor." And she says, "So you better admit it now." I'm like, "I'm not going to admit anything I didn't do. I didn't cheat. I know the stuff." So we go to the professor, and then he's like, "Well, she says you were cheating, and she's the TA and all this." And I'm like, "No, I didn't cheat." I said, "I can prove it," right? So he puts on another problem that was similar to what we did in the lab, and then I whipped it out just like that. And I was so fucking pissed. It was me who was cheating. It wasn't Julio. Julio didn't even get called in, right? They didn't call Julio in at all. Didn't get in trouble, nothing, no discipline, nothing at all. Next semester, Julio does the same thing, and he gets caught cheating in physics. And his dad, he was a rich kid, really, really rich kid. His dad gave an endowment to the physics department. Oh, they conveniently forgot that Julio cheated. The other kids got kicked out of school. Julio just got suspended for the semester, right? And got to come back the next semester. So to this day, I hate Julio, right? And to this day, I hate cheaters, right? So do not cheat. It's not worth it. It's going to catch up with you. To this day, just recently, as of last year, Julio just went to jail for cheating, right? And so I finally get my revenge. It took a long time. Very happy. Okay, so we're almost through. Okay, so you guys have just gone through a pandemic, and we're still working our way through it. We were isolated, we were online, we were stuck in dorm rooms or in houses and forever. And so there's a lot of stress that has built up. And you can kind of tell that by how you guys communicate with each other. You guys all started out a little shy, like, "Ooh, I don't know if I can talk to people anymore," right? You wanted to text them, right? They'll say, "Hey, let me text you what I'm thinking," right? So we want to get you guys back in the habit of being in the classroom and get you guys comfortable. But there are going to be some stresses that are going to be associated with that. And if you can't handle those stresses, you need to let somebody know. So we have a lot of services here that's available for you to help with some of those stresses. If you have stresses with learning disabilities, we have DSPS. Take advantage of it. DSPS has great toys and you can get a note taker and you can get a lot of help from them in general. They have this awesome pen. I want one. I keep telling them if I get a hold of it, I'm still in it. It actually will record as you're writing. And as you go over what you've written, it'll play back what you just, what was the lecture was. And I'm like, damn, if I had that in college, exactly. Don't leave it there because you may not see it anymore. Yeah. Huh?
Yes.
Yeah, please.
Yes.
Hopefully it's charged.
Hopefully it starts. You want to show them how it's used?
Yes.
I haven't used it since I got it.
You haven't used it since you got
Well,
it.
because classes just started.
Okay.
I know, it's like. But essentially, you write something down and it'll actually record because you get a special piece of paper, no, not just special piece of paper, but multiple sheets of paper. And they record basically at what point you started writing. And then it'll record the teacher or the classroom's audio. And then you ever want to listen back to what it was being said, you just tap it and it'll play the audio from that specific point in time. And you can also skip forward or backwards and record hours of lectures. Okay.
Yep.
And you can also export them to your computer and stuff.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's actually a nice toy. And I'm like, you know what? I need to go to DSPS to get mine.
You don't pay for it. It's just you sign up and then they give it to you. Obviously, they like it.
You just got it from the school?
Well, yeah, if you go to DSPS,
Oh, that's cool.
which is, I think, what's their room? What's their?
It's
Well, I mean, there's big signboards, so
Yeah.
it just literally says DSPS. Yeah.
It's literally right over there. There's a big old sign. They have a big old banner. Take advantage of it. As I said, we have a lot of services for you guys. There's also MESA. MESA stands for Math, Engineering, Science Achievement. Now, they're going to be providing your lab coats, your books. They have snacks throughout the day. They have tutors that are going to be there. They lame snacks.
Yeah.
Don't hate on their snacks. Hey, I love a cup of noodle. When I want a cup of noodle, I know where to go.
But then all the good ones are taken. It's like all that's left is goldfish.
You got to get there early. Okay, so if you guys need help and mental wellness counseling, we also have Timely Care. It's a nice little app that you just click. There, it'll take you to it. You'll download the app and they'll set up an appointment. And if you guys are having any issues and you just need to talk, hey, my office is always open. It's, come in, sit down. I say have a beer, but we can't have a beer, but we can have a root beer, And so, and you say you get something off your chest, I'm always available and I'll try to lead you down the right path and send you to the people that you need to talk to. Title IX. So if you feel that you've been unlawfully discriminated against, sexually harassed, you want to talk to the Title IX coordinator, which is Javier Saris. And I gave you a link to his email and his number, so you'll be able to contact him. And class courtesy. So last thing. So, I don't mind if you guys are coming in late and things like that, because you guys, things are gonna happen, right? Sometimes you're gonna have to be a little bit late. But when you come in, kind of be courteous of how you come in and everything like that, and take in consideration that I am doing a lecture or whatever, so don't come in all loud and on the phone. If you get a phone call, right, take it outside. I don't mind if you guys go outside. Go to the bathroom, you don't have to ask me, just go ahead and go to the bathroom, come back. Okay. Again, all your lectures are going to be recorded. They're going to be available for you to sit there and watch. So if you miss something, you can, rewind and play it back. Okay. Questions, concerns? Math. Okay. So
What's this requirement?
wait, hold on. Hold on. Okay. So now, how many of you guys are really good at math? Really good at math. Okay, I got two really good at math. Okay, so raise your hands higher so that the rest of the class knows. Okay, these two are really good at math, so they're going to be able to help us out here, right? That'll be good. So I'm also going to set up another part of your Canvas shell. There's going to be a module that's going to focus on those who may be a little weaker in math. Not only that, we have tutors, right? We have myself, right? Come and visit. We'll get you guys up and running. And if you're struggling a little bit with that math, we'll help you with it. And occasionally we'll go over some of the things in class and that will kind of help you understand some of the things that you should have understood before.
Because
Right.
chemistry requires.
A lot of math. Yeah, but it's a lot of, I'm gonna say, I could say basic math. It's a lot of that math that we've forgotten. It's not that it's hard, it's just that it's been years and years since we used it. Now you get a chance to use all that stuff that you always said, I'm never gonna use it, right? And now you get a chance to do it. So it'll be fun. Okay, so on Wednesday, you guys, by Wednesday, you need to read chapters 1 and chapters 2. That's your first assignment, your first reading assignment. The other thing is that you want to make sure that you guys bring what type of shoes?
Closed-toe shoes.
Closed-toe shoes. Okay, good. Okay, bye. That's it. That's it. That's all we need for today. What did you guys get one more?
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, yes, yes, yes. I forgot one other thing. So for every week that you guys go to tutoring, right? You get extra credit, right? You get an extra credit.
Is it for every week?
Huh?
Is it every week?
Every week that they go, yes.
Yeah.
A half a point per extra credit. So it'll be a total of 8 points, or no, 9 points throughout the semester. Wait, 7 points. 7 points throughout the semester. Of extra credit.